And what Obama does about that hollow centre now, and in trying to get anything done between now and 2012, is going to be interesting to see.
That's a good point by John. I'd also say on the Democrat side, there are a lot of moderate centrist Democrats, particularly down south, the so-called blue dog Democrats, who really copped huge swings. Some of them lost their seats. His centre side to the Democrats is dwindling very fast. So
yeah.
it's a very liberal Democrat.
We've got a clip of one of his more conservative Democrats. Some Democrats did play down their party ties to ensure victory, and this is an ad from Joe Manchin, who won his Senate seat in West Virginia.
As your senator, I'll protect our Second Amendment rights. That's why the NRA endorsed me. I'll take on Washington and this administration to get the federal government off of our backs and out of our pockets. I'll cut federal spending, and I'll repeal the bad parts of Obamacare. I sued EPA, and I'll take dead aim at the cap-and-trade bill. Because it's bad for West Virginia.
Tom, he doesn't sound like a Democrat, does he?
Well, Marius Kloppers, he's talking about an international pricing mechanism for carbon. I think he obviously hasn't followed the US presidential, the congressional election campaigns. No, look, that's right. I mean, this just demonstrates that America is still very much a centre-right nation. And the only way that Joe Manchin could win that seat in West Virginia was by running to the right of President Obama on a variety of issues on healthcare, stimulus, and of course cap and trade.
And so some of the more eccentric candidates, Tea Party candidates, didn't get up, including Christine O'Donnell, and she, of course, was the candidate who said, "I am not a witch."
Well, you know, it's quite wonderful. She did so much for the other side in her campaigning, didn't she? She was quite helpful. But the interesting thing for me is watching, and it's actually an interesting point, that this election will actually have an impact for a long time to come, because Australians know a lot about gerrymandering. What hasn't been talked about is that in the US they have what they call redistricting every 10 years. This election will actually be determining the gerrymanders for the next 10 years. So this is an incredibly important... Oh, it's the same way as when you have, in Australia, the way it works is you have a review and everybody's supposedly independent comes up with a great idea. This is just politically, you know, totally impactful because the people who are doing it are Republicans and they're in control or whatever. So it's, you know, I was over there recently and looking at some of the stats. I mean, this was enormously hard fought. I mean, they always are. But I mean, I was saying to John earlier, 293,000 ads were run during this campaign. Now, we think we have a bad time. You know, that's extraordinary. And
what was the cost, John,
Well, they're thinking it's in excess of $3 billion just in TV ads, and that doesn't start to approach what was spent online and in direct mail and
very
stickers
important
and
election.
Buttons.
Good time to be a political consultant.
It's not bad. What's going to be interesting out of all of this, though, is one of the things that saved a few very vulnerable senators like Harry Reid in Nevada, who was gone for all money.
Who was up against the Tea Party candidate,
Sharon Angle, who was successfully painted as being too extreme, being against unemployment benefits, these kinds of things. The get out the vote effort for the Democrats that won the election for Obama 2 years ago, that was living as a sleeper cell through organising for America as a community organising sort of a mechanism for the last 2 years, it reactivated. It didn't do so well in some places, but in places like Nevada, particularly motivating the Latino vote there, scaring them about issues like illegal immigration and so on, they managed to recapture some of the spirit of 2008. So that'll be what Democrats are clinging to tonight. It's not been a good day for them at all, but some of the old fire was there. When they saw Obama on the stump, they remembered why they loved this guy, why they voted for this guy the first time round. And right now, I think there are a lot of Democrats saying, well, it could have been worse, but right now you'd have to say that they're odds on in 2012 to see Barack Obama re-elected. It's
interesting as well the heartbreak that we're seeing. When you have these campaigns, whether it's Kevin Rudd's campaign or Obama, where they create this great hope and this great expectation in the nation that things will be different, when the reality is they're not going to be different, and they're sure as hell not going to be different now that you've got the houses split the way they are. You know, people are disappointed. It's got to be a warning to people that you can do great you know, call to action speeches, but you've got to be able to deliver.
Tom, what do you think the ramifications are for the 2012 presidential race?
Well, think of it like this. In November 1990, did anyone know about a little-known governor in Arkansas named Bill Clinton? Likewise, in November 1974, did anyone know about a little-known governor named Jimmy Carter from Georgia? The fact is, circumstances can change very quickly here. I think that the Republicans have some very talented candidates who aren't being heard about. Some of these governors, like Mitch Daniel in Indiana, I think he's a very sharp, smart, competent governor. And Tim Pawlenty, who's from Minnesota. A lot of tensions on Sarah Palin right now. I don't think she could possibly get the nomination. I'd be very surprised if she gets that. And in fact, I think a lot of Tea Party people don't even want her to run as the candidate. But I think Barack Obama, I mean, a lot of sympathetic commentators here in Australia and America America are saying he can do a Clinton now. He can move to the centre. But I'm yet to be convinced, because remember, in 2008, Barack Obama ran as a transformative figure. He wanted to remake the political order in Washington, make it more liberal. Well, he can't really do that if he has to take to the centre.
The other historical precedent that we can look at here, everyone thinks of Clinton in 94. The other Democrat to suffer significant midterm losses was Harry Truman in 1946. He was presented with the first Republican House in a generation. He successfully ran against that House. He spent 2 years decrying these people as do-nothing politicians. Now, if Barack Obama does that, like give him hell Harry was able to do, he could win re-election in 2012, just as Truman was able to do unexpectedly in 48. So if the centre is there, he'll go for it. If those that are saying there is no centre, it is a donut right now, then it could be give him hell Barack.